Hi guys, how you doing? Clearly this time I filmed on a different day because this time out at the gym I brought a spare t-shirt with me, so I'm not quite as sweaty and horrible as before. In the last drill video that I put up, I mentioned Bombadier Billy Wells, and I thought it might be interesting to look at some more of the stuff that Billy Wells was doing, because whilst he's definitely one of the early boxers, he doesn't really fall into the pugilistic era. As writers go, and Bombadier Billy Wells did write a little book here, Modern Boxing, A Practical Guide to Present Day Methods by Bombadier Wells, he was very dismissive of the old timers, and he thought that the manoeuvrability and the flexibility and the speed of modern boxing far outweighed the superior power punching of the old time boxers. And bearing in mind he had a habit of knocking people out, there's something to be said for his argument. He was the heavyweight champion of Great Britain and also of the British Empire from 1911 to 1919. I think he defended his titles 14 times successfully, so he was a very, very skilled boxer. He was very good at what he did. And what I thought we might do is look at a few of the things that he describes over the next few videos. So in this video, let's hold the book down, we're going to look at the slip that we looked at in the previous drill, where we're looking at, let's go from the right leg because then I'm not slipping into the wall. He doesn't really move his feet when he slips, he ducks underneath round blows, circular blows. Now bear in mind, by this time fighting with gloves was well established, a lot of prize ring rules were gone, were no more, so modern boxing had started to evolve. There was a lot more in the way of circular blows, so there's a lot more in Bombadier Wells' system that doesn't really apply, but a lot of these techniques still do. Even Mendoza talked about what to do against people who throw round blows at you. So some of the defensive stuff is very good, and we can apply that to our pugilistic training. So we're here in our position, and he's got a relatively laid-back stance. So we're going to fall somewhere between his stance sort of here and our pugilistic stance based off Mendoza. If you're interested in the pugilistic stance, go check out my video on Mendoza's stance. It's very interesting stuff. So we're going to duck underneath the blow, and we've looked at that before. It's really simple. We're simply going to turn around and we're going to duck down at the same time. What we're not going to do is drop and bend our knees. We're not going to do what we call in modern wrestling, we're not going to level change. So we're not going to drop down low. Okay, we're not going to use this as a squat, we're effectively just going to duck. And we've done that in the last video. We're saying what we did before was we ducked down and then we came back in with a rolling back fist. That's not what we're going to do this time, because the next stage, according to Bombadier Billy Wells, is to go from a straight duck down by itself, just by itself, to throwing a right to the body as you do it. Now interestingly, his right to the body is very similar to some of the earlier systems that also describe this. So you're looking at a single time counter. We're using this rotational movement and this duck to allow our shoulders to start to move. You come across Dempsey's shoulder well. But we're also allowing this weight drop to drive some power behind this. So, and this is going to come around in what Allenson Wynne would call a contracted arm strike, and it is going to strike with a vertical fist, not a horizontal fist. And as we do that, just like with all of the other systems, is at the moment of impact, we're going to squeeze our fist as tightly as we can, tighten up the muscles of the forearm. So it's really very simple. As soon as we see that blow coming, we take it. Now, I have a bit of an issue in that I struggle to do with my left hand what Bombadier Wells does. I tend to keep it up and I try and keep my elbow tucked in against my ribs when I throw that. And I'm kind of covering. And partly that's because I'm at least, to some degree, a grappler. Whereas Bombadier Billy Wells wasn't. And what he does is he throws that back more. So that as he comes down with the slip and throws this out. This is coming back here. And that allows this shoulder whirl to develop a little bit more energy and a little bit more momentum. So it's nice and simple. From here, we go. And again, it feels a little odd to those of us that are coming from a grappling intensive background to duck down here and not actually be looking at our opponent. But if you look at some of the more modern boxing greats, the head movement they have can be quite spectacular. And they're moving all over the place and ducking down to horizontal and coming back up again. It's perfectly common and it works really well. Clearly it worked for Bombadier Billy Wells. 14 title defences over 8 years. So that's a really, really simple slip, duck, counter punch, all in one. Give it a try, see what you think. Take care, guys.